Oh, my lost brothers and sisters, can you believe this story that I am telling you? That we have from the Prophet Muhammad, and we have had it for hundreds of years. Now listen to what he said next. The man shackled in the temple or the monastery on the island said to Tamim ad-Dari and his companions, "You have answered my questions," he said. "Now I will inform you about myself. I am Al-Masih, the false liar, the Antichrist, a Dajjal. Soon, a thread in fate, a loophole will occur, and I will be allowed to escape from here, unshackled and free, and I will leave this island, and I will be free to roam and escape from this island and be free upon the earth for 40 days. Nowhere on the earth will be there except under my control, except for Mecca, the city of Ibrahim, and Tayyibah or Tiba, the goodness or the city of the Prophet." He said, guarding those cities will be angels with unsheathed swords from every pathway and mountain pass. They will be protected from me, and I will reign over all of the earth. The Prophet smacked his staff on the pulpit 3 times and said, "O my people, this story is in agreement with what I have been warning you, as all prophets have warned you about the false liar. So amazing was this story that I wanted to gather you here to hear it. I swear to you, one day will come and he will be released. He is in the South Sea," he said. "No, I swear by Allah, he is in the East Sea." This story has been narrated in the books of the Muslims for hundreds of years with multiple narrations and multiple chains. And all of this is authenticated, my brothers and sisters. O lost fans, O you who are on the path of ascension, who are supposed to connect all that is, you are supposed to be seeking those who can help you find the light and make connections. The reason why I have given you this ahadith, this narration from the Prophet, is so that you can see that if you were to understand some of the stories properly that we have in the Quran, and some of the stories that we have of the prophets and the statements of the final messenger, then you would be able to discern your own path of enlightenment. And I, as your light worker and path shower, am giving you a simple job, and that is watch the show Lost. Simple assignment. I like to give you simple assignments, and I'm telling you, no matter how lazy you are, I'm still giving you an assignment that you can do and help you on the path of ascension if you have a pure heart and an open mind and are willing to sit and watch one of the most amazing, entertaining shows. Now, Lost fans, did you catch a few things in that story? One, most Muslims have always been wondering about this hadith. Of all the statements of the Prophet related to the Antichrist or the false Messiah, they usually relate to the final timeline related to the return of Jesus, son of Mary, when he returns from his ascension. Again, we're talking about ascension, and Jesus being the return of the ascended Christ as an example to everybody to show, hey, didn't the Prophet Muhammad teach you guys ascension? Were you not paying attention? Sorry for that tangent, but Lost talks about, one, ascension, rebirth, not dying on the island. But then you got a slight secret throwback spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the show, you should understand the concept of a walk-in. Now, if you are just a fan of the show and you don't understand the concept of a walk-in, if you are on the path of ascension or spiritually on the path of enlightenment, you should understand the term a walk-in, right? If you don't understand that term, you probably need to do a little bit of research. But the false Messiah, the Antichrist, is a walk-in, as you see in the TV show. The other thing you see is the ascension path, clearly Jacob, the Jacob's ladder. Many people who understand biblical reference, Jacob, Esau, obvious connection there. Higher realms, immortality, some of the higher beings. The other thing that is slightly interesting for many Muslims is, many Muslims have been debating for many hundreds of years, those who are not in the know, about the reason why the Prophet ﷺ, peace and blessings be upon him, said that the island is in the East Sea and in the South Sea, and so vehemently made two specific locations. Well, if you're a fan of the Lost Show, you understand at a spiritual level why the Prophet had two specific locations where to find the island. If you are someone who is just a student of knowledge and has never watched the show Lost, you might be amazed to see what happens in the show and understand why your Prophet ﷺ specifically said two specific locations for the island. Now, all of that should have tripped you out. But the point being is that you need to start using a certain reference, a certain, what we call in Arabic, furqan, goalpost, authentic text, guidepost that you have as a certainty to be able to discern. This is the whole process of ascension, learning to use and recognize the truth so that you are not at the mercy of anyone else. And it becomes clear very much in the story of Lost as different people take leadership positions and you're forced to decide if you recognize the true leaders and who is the rightful person to follow. You must, O light workers, O path showers, recognize the final messenger, Muhammad, as the final bearer of the light for you to be able to discern the whole picture. And that's why I've told the stories of truth, the story of the Prophet series. If you haven't watched that yet, that's why you need to go back to that. And now being able to see various other fictional stories. This just is about Lost, but we'll do other shows in the future along with various other spiritual and supernatural concepts so that you can start to make these connections by yourself. One final caveat before you get a little bit tripped out. If you understand that the loophole that's being referred to in the beginning of the incident is the actual incident, and if you understand what the hadith implies by the loophole of that who was on the island, then you recognize what time we are in and why those of us who are awake are waking up and trying to tell people there is a deadline to this process. And you want to figure out your path before it gets too late.